Hello, my friends from around the world. Welcome to another episode of Sunday Night Alive Power Hour with your host, Soldier of Self-Mastery here. We're going to call this episode 96. Man, I don't know what I'm doing today. I'm just all over the place. I just got off of a podcast with my partner, Cephas, and we were talking about the myths of happiness. Anyways, that must have threw me off. I'm glad to be here. I'm excited to be here. I see that we have a few people that are visiting. Before I get started today on this broadcast, I got a question that I want to ask you. I have a question that I want to ask you before I even get started with anything. I've got all these kinds of notes. And like I said, what is the question that I'm going to ask you today on this episode? We'll call this episode number 96, man. I am excited to be here. Are you excited to be alive today? Are you excited to be thankful and grateful and hopeful? I hope you are, my friend. Is gambling worth your life? The trade. Let me say that again. Is gambling worth your life? The trade. Now, again, I see we've got a few people here that are visiting, and I wanted to see if I can get somebody. I see Jim. Welcome. Good afternoon, Jim. I see that you're here. Anyways, if you're here and you want to identify yourself, if you have a question, you have a thought, you have an observation. By the way, our weather out here in Stockton, California, it's like hurricane weather outside. So if you see my window, if you hear my window fly out like a crashing sound, then you'll know it's because of the powerful wind that's outside. No, I'm just kidding. But I hope that wherever you find yourself, you are doing super fantastic, terrific, and over the top here. So I see one person, maybe we'll get a few latecomers, but we're going to talk about this subject here today. We're going to talk a little bit about this subject, but before I do, let me see. What is it? Some people think they are worth more dead than alive. Isn't there a song? A rock song, Dead or Alive. Hey, Nahil, welcome to the program. Glad to see you here. This is actually, I'm titling this episode number 96 because I'm not too sure how we're going to continue doing this live stream. I want to be able to do something a little bit different than what I've been doing. So today I have an agenda, but I don't have an agenda. I really want to basically kind of relate to you guys, kind of interact with you guys. If you're here and you come on here and you're, I don't know, maybe you're having a great day. Maybe you're struggling. Maybe you fell last night and you want to just talk about certain things. Let's get into this because I tell you what, being free from gambling is a good motive. It's my ulterior motive, actually, for you on the other side, if indeed you're a problem gambler. That is my ulterior motive. Why am I here? Well, it's definitely not to make millions of dollars because that's not going to happen right here. So, but with that said, I do want you to support the mission, though, right? How do you support this mission? Well, you can get a book. You can go to soldiersofselfmastery.com. I believe the link is either on this side. Let me see. It's either on this side or on this side to your screen. You can purchase a book. You can donate to this mission. I do have a couple of books that are going to be going out, signed autograph books. But you can support the mission. I mean, you can share a video, you can comment, and you can support financially, as I said. I'm not going to get into that here too much because if you want to do that, you can go ahead and do that. But what we're going to talk about, I'm just going to bring up some thoughts. I'm going to bring up some thoughts here on this episode. If I don't get any interaction from you, if I don't get any questions at this point, I'm going to bring up some thoughts that tie in with gambling and really that to move us away from gambling, because that's what we really want to do. We want to move away from gambling, right? You want to move away from gambling? I mean, I do every single day. I'm not saying I do. I gamble, but every single day could be a new temptation for me. Every single day could be a trigger for me. You never know what a day is going to bring forth. So I definitely do not want to leave my brain outside anymore. You ever felt like you leave your brain outside somewhere? You know, you go to the casino and You go to the casino and you leave your brain outside somewhere. You ever notice that? Or am I the only one that has ever experienced that kind of an experience? Nowhere in the casino could I find my brain, but as soon as I step out of the casino, as soon as I step into my car, there it is, man, waiting for me, pointing a finger. Santos, what did you do, man? What what are you gonna do now? You've just blown all your money. Or hey, you won a jackpot. What's gonna happen next? Right? Either way, you're gonna get hooked. Whether you win or whether you lose, you're gonna get hooked in the casino, because if you win, you're gonna go back and you're gonna lose your money, and it's gonna keep you coming back. If you lose, right, what's gonna happen? You're either going to come back at another time, or you're going to stay away from that. You're going to learn from that pain, from that loss. You're going to learn from it, man. Right? When you find your brain in the car and it starts speaking to you. Anyways, that's just a thought that I had. There's a couple of things that I want to bring up on here. But before I do, so support the mission. You know that GABA is available, the Gambling Addictions Breakthrough Academy. What else? We have a podcast program that we're working on. You're welcome. You can, if you're more interested, you can go to soldiersofselfmastery.com and check that out. And what's today's proverb? Today's proverb, I want to read today's proverb. It's a kind of a long one, but it's a good one because it talks about the word. So it's Hebrews 4:12. It says, "For the word of God is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and of the marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart." What is the intent of the heart? Anyways, I want to interact with you guys right now. I'm putting my agenda aside. So I see David Nahil, welcome. We're going to call this episode 96. I was hoping that maybe Sam could be here with us because we were going to do an interview type program, but I guess we're not. So let me see here. I see Mahmoud. Hello, welcome to the program. I see David and Jim. I see we've got a few other people that come on board. So we're gonna talk a little bit about gambling, how to get away from gambling. I mean, think about it. Is it worth trading your time for gambling? You're trading your life. That's what you're doing, right? You're trading your life for gambling. That's what I was doing. I was giving up my time. I was giving up my money. I was giving up whatever I was giving up bills. I was giving up my rent money just to go put money in the slot machines. Right? What kind of a life is that, man? Really? What kind of a life is it? It's a life that really just totally sucks. It's like having leeches. I was reading about leeches. Some leeches are used. They're healthy, right? They're used to help promote blood flow. I think that's what they do. In certain aspects, they use leeches and they also use, what's the other ones that turn into flies? Maggots. I think they use maggots. But you can also be infected by life-threatening leeches, and you can also be infected by life-threatening maggots. Now, what do you mean, Santos? What do you mean by that? Well, the casino problem gambling is like maggots, life-threatening maggots. It's like leech. It's sucking the lifeblood out of you if you're indeed a gambler. I know it was to me. That's what it felt like. It's kind of like a bunch of leeches on you, man, that you how do I get these leeches off me, man? How do I get them off me? That's the mentality that you got to have. That's the fight, because you and I are in a battle every single day. We're in a fight. You and I are in a fight. I'm not fighting against you. You're not fighting against me. You're not fighting against your family. You're fighting against yourself. You are literally fighting against you in order to get the victory, if indeed you want to get a victory in your life. So, all right, my friends, once again, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for being with me. And we can, let me see, what do I want to have here? No banners. Okay, so we're here back in the chat. I'm still new at this program. What about football matching betting sports? Hey Jesse, welcome to the program. Betting sports, it's another gambling issue. Is that something that you do, Mahmoud? Do you do sports betting? Is that something that David says gambling is the worst thing someone can get involved with? I agree with you, David. Jesse says temptations we all go through. We all go through temptations, that's for sure. And okay, so you do sports betting. Well, again, it's just like any type of addiction. Well, betting is a little bit of a different addiction, but it's gambling. And you know that if you continue going down that path, what's going to happen? What's going to be the result for you? Is the question that you need to ask yourself there, bud. Gambling will destroy your life. Any form of gambling. Here's another thing to think about. You know that every time that you win, it's a trap. It's a trap. Anytime that you win in the casino, you know that somebody had to lose. It could have been an older lady. It could have been a young person. It could have been who knows? But anytime that you win in the casino that you would walk out with money, you're not walking out with the casino's money. They're not giving their money away. You're taking somebody else's money. When you think about things that way, it kind of changes your perspective, doesn't it? Man, I'm taking money somebody else had to lose. Somebody else had to lose their rent money. Somebody else had to lose their bill money. Somebody gave up something, a loss, in order for you to become a win. So when you lose in the casino, when you lose betting on horses or some people bet on pit bulls. And then there's people that they bet on chickens, on roosters. You ever seen those sharp knives that they put? I've seen them, the little knives that they put on the rooster's feet. Man, they look like little swords. I've never been to those things, but I imagine it's probably pretty gross. Just like the dog bets. And they bet. People do that. It's crazy, man, what people do. Totally crazy. And it turns into a bloody mess. Here's one. Do you ever feel like you leave your brain outside? I think I already mentioned this. You ever feel like you leave your brain, you go into the casino and you leave your brain outside only to find it later on when you're depressed? But anyways, it's a trap. Whether you win or lose in the casino, it's a trap. It's going to get you one way or another. That's the truth. So, hi, Laura. Welcome to the program. I'm just kind of throwing out some random thoughts here. I'm going to talk about a couple of tools here before we end the program. And I want to send a shout out to Martha, too. I don't know if she's watching this program. Martha said, Santos, don't shut down your Sunday Night Alive Power Hour. I'm not shutting it down, but I really need support. I really need help for people. If you want to be a part of this to help me, I'm not asking for support for myself because I go out there and I work and I labor. But to keep this mission going, to pay people to do things for me, to help me market, my ulterior motive, my motive is to help you on the other side. That's my motive. My ulterior motive is to help you on the other side. And maybe it's not just about a gambling problem. Maybe it's some other problem that you have. And through this program or through my videos or through some other thing that I offer can help you. I do offer coaching, one-on-one coaching. Listen, if you want to get a hold, if you want to get a grab, if you want to be accountable, if you want to grow your self-belief, if you want to become more confident in yourself, if you want to grow these things faster, because what will happen is somebody that already has these talents, these gifts can actually help you learn faster, can help you get them faster in your life. It can cut your learning curve in half. But of course, there's a price to pay for all of these things, right? That's the truth. Um, but or you're going to stay where you're at, my friend. You're going to stay there hurting, and maybe depressed and losing, and then you'll just beat yourself up with your own words. You'll beat yourself up. Remember I read that verse earlier about the word being quick and powerful, piercing. Listen to this. For the word of God is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and of the marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. We have to be around choice people. We have to be around people that really mean well for us. We have to be around sources that are going to help us develop ourselves, develop our confidence, develop our courage, develop self-belief. Grab a hold of the finances that we have. Because if you're not holding on to your money and you're blowing your money and you're giving it away to things that are no good, then obviously that's not good, right? That's not good. And we have to be careful, because I was talking to my partner, Cephas, and I said, my team member, Cephas, and I said, today we have to distract the distractions with positive distractions. I'm going to say that again. You and I must distract the distractions with a positive distraction. Now, is that the truth or what? Or am I just losing it here? David says, yep. We got a few people on here. You ever feel like you're doing something and feels like you left your brain somewhere else? Maybe it's not in the casino. Maybe you're doing something and you feel like, man, where's my brain? I got to find my brain. Something's not working here. That's how we become, man. We become so distracted with things that we're forgetting to think. We're forgetting, we're not focused, man. It's like we got to focus on our focus, right? We have to focus on our focus. It's like we need to look into yourself, and we need to take time to ponder and think about where you want to go. We need to write about it. Write it out if in doubt, okay? Write it out if in doubt. You know what I mean by that? Journal. Keep track of what you're doing. Analyze. Write things down. Even if it's just a piece of paper that you put on the shelf and you save it for later and you don't have a journal, okay? If in doubt, write it out, my friend. This is something that's going to help you big time, big time, big time. If you're not taking advantage of using your words, and we talked about self-talk a little bit in one of my other episodes, but today here, I'm just talking about writing things down here. Keeping track, analyzing. Well, here, speak to yourself, use your gift. Self-talk, affirmations, repeated conversations with yourself. You know that you actually can coach yourself. You can push yourself. You can motivate yourself. It's amazing what you can do with these little gifts that God has given you and I. It really is amazing. I thought about this the other day. I was thinking, Santos, I was reminding myself, Santos, you're playful, you're creative, you're a dreamer, you're an actor, you're all of these things. Whatever it is that you set your mind to, that's what you can become. If and you're free from, you're a free gambler. You're a problem-free gambler permanently. I love saying that to myself. I love encouraging myself in the mornings and late at night and throughout the day. Not that I have to, but I have to encourage myself in many other areas that I'm working at today. I don't really have to push myself when it comes to reminding myself that I'm no longer a gambler. That's easy to me because that's fixed in my mind. I'm already there. But there's other areas that we have to remind ourselves, that we have to use affirmations, that we have to talk to ourselves. You know what I'm talking about? Come on, please agree with me here. Mark. All right. Mark says, do you know Grand Theft Auto has gambling on there too? I wouldn't doubt it, Mark. It's all It's apps. You know, the computer world that we live in, everything's moving so quickly. We've got apps, we've got software, we've got advertisement that is, I mean, you like I said earlier, you have to distract your distractions with positive distractions today. Do you know what I'm talking about here? You get up in the morning, even I have a thing that I call 15-minute mornings, breakfast of champions, right? It's just a 15-minute deal that I do in the mornings. Sometimes it's a half an hour. I read a scripture, I meditate, I write, I meditate, I visualize, I do whatever it is that I need to do in order to get my mindset in the right direction, because some mornings is more difficult. Some mornings you're going to get up and it's going to be more difficult for you. You're going to have pressure. You're going to have, bills. You're going to have situations with family, or maybe you're starting a new job, or you have a business that's not working effectively. So you've got all these things going on. And every morning, you have to do these things for yourself. If you want to change your life, if you want to change, if you don't want to change, then you're not going to do these things. But you got to push yourself, right? I want to share with you something that I recently had, because something to remember is you are your own coach. You are your own teacher. You are your own doctor. You are your own inspiration. You are your own motivator. You are you. You. Remember that. Get to that place where you inspire you. Get to that place where you motivate you. Man, it's a great thing. It's a great place to be at, especially when you're moving, when you got to get away from those, get these leeches off of me, man. How do I get these leeches off of me? What do I need to do to get these leeches off of me? Whatever the addiction is, whatever that problem is in your life, you got to get those leeches. You got to get them. They're sucking the life out of you. You got to get them off of you. All right, my friend. Do you know Grand Theft? Yeah, Mark says casino on there, and you can get them at like you do in real life. It's horrible. It is. If you have young people are they're vulnerable because money. Young people like money. They want money. They want the cars. They want to have the girls, and they want to have young people. So what happens? You got all these advertisements about money, about casinos. What happens to our young people? They get sucked right in. So we have to be a voice. We have to warn people. We have to let people know, hey, this is what's really happening in our world. So technology is a good thing, but technology can be a terrible thing. That's the truth, man. By the way, help is available if you need coaching. If you need coaching, polish up your tools. You should know what they are. The tools you can use to help yourself. And you can check out more of that at soldiersofselfmastery.com. soldiersofselfmastery.com. So I want to share, I'm going to be ending here pretty soon, but I want to share something, an experience that I had recently. It goes to show you how powerful your mind is and how powerful your self-talk. Well, Laura, let me see. Laura says, before I share that last story, Laura says it's so easy to slip slots in convenience stores in Pennsylvania. Yeah, if you're traveling across the states, if you're driving, it's easy. They get you. You stop in, you're hungry, you got to get gas. You got to be determined in your mind. I mean, it's a battle. You and I are in a battle. We're in a battle against ourselves, and then we're in a battle against all of these distractions that are out there. So you're in a double battle. And if you're a trucker, you don't have to be a trucker, anybody in particular, and you're going to be faced with all of these temptations and triggers. Why? Because of the lure of money, right? Money, fast money. You're going to take $30 and you're going to get $150 out of it. That's the way we think sometimes too, right? I'm going to take $50. I'm going to play the penny machines and I'm going to win $175, or I'm going to win, somebody else won $500. So The lure of money. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's going to get you one way or another. So Jim says, if it's technology, what does Jim says? Is technology and big capital causing a large divide, making people obsolete? Exactly. That's a good point too. Robots, artificial intelligence. Imagine all the jobs that are going to be gone in the next 2 years, in the next 6 to 12 months. Imagine all of the jobs that are going to be gone over the next 5 years because of artificial intelligence and robotics and all of these things. I'm telling you, this is a time for us to really get creative. That's what I was telling myself, and I got distracted. I tell myself every day, I'm creative, I'm playful, I'm a dreamer. You know, I'm a soldier of self-mastery. I'm a philosopher of everyday victorious living. This is what I do to I do this to myself. Why do I do this? Because you got to convince yourself, man. You have to convince yourself. If you don't do it, nobody's going to do it for you. And I might sound crazy today here on this episode, but I'm telling you, I'm giving you the truth, man. You have to literally take control of yourself. You have to take control of your mind. You have to learn how to convince yourself, because if you don't, you will be convinced. You will be convinced by others, by advertisements, and by all of these distractions. You will be convinced, my friend, and you'll go off in a bad direction. So remember I said yesterday, look inside yourself. Take time to ponder. Think about where you want to go. Think about where you want to go. Write it out if in doubt. Be playful. Be creative. Let your mind dream. Wander. Write it out, man. You're struggling. Maybe you're one person here that maybe went on this episode and you're struggling big time. Write it out. Put it on paper, man. Write it out if you're in doubt. So yes, technology. I had an experience. I went through a 3-day training. Looks like everybody's on vacation. What does Mark says? I like that name, self-ministry, self-soldiers. You are a soldier of self-mastery, Mark. Jesse Valadez, take control, the bottom line, 5-second method. Yep, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Melody Green. So I was going through this experience that was very painful. To a certain degree, it was painful. I didn't want to be there. I was with a group of people. It was a couple of days. And here's the thing, when it comes to temptation and triggers and gambling and different kinds of addiction, whatever it is that you're trying to get away from, you have to prepare yourself before these things happen. You must prepare yourself. You got to polish up your tools. You got to know what your tools are. And if you don't know what your tools are, shame on you, because you should know what your tools are. They're at your quick disposal when you need them, right? Just like a handyman, just like a mechanic, just like a carpenter, right? Just like the computer tech guy that comes to your house to fix your internet. They better have the tools. They better know what they're doing. In this life, you have to have the tools. You have to know what how you're using them. So this experience that I was going through was not a pleasant experience. And I can tell that people were complaining. People were actually beginning to feel physically the effect of some of the pain that they were experiencing. So was I. And I found myself almost complaining a little bit. There was complaints coming out about this thing that we were going through, this experience, okay? We were in a temperature conditioned atmosphere, and it was pretty bad. We weren't really prepared for it. But I remember talking to myself. I remember telling myself, for God has not given me a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. I remember telling myself I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. I remember telling myself I'm a soldier of self-mastery. I'll get through this. This is just temporary. I remember doing that inner dialogue, talking, and then, of course, the thoughts that I was having. Eventually, some people fell away. Some people could not handle that experience. A couple of people, they just couldn't handle it. They walked away. I got through the training with a few other people. My point in that is that you can get through whatever you decide that you want to get through in life. You can get through it if you really want to. There's no excuse, really. We can do it if we really want to. I think the problem is that maybe if you're on the other side and you're not stopping your gambling issues because maybe you don't want to. And of course, that is going to be your number one enemy. You don't want to. Until you overcome, you don't want to. You're going to continue doing the gambling. You're going to continue having those issues. So, knock it off, right? That's the motive. Make sense? Stop. Ask yourself the question, what must I do to get out of this struggle that I'm in? You know, how do I get the leeches off of me? How do I get these leeches off of me? What is it that I need to be doing? All right, my friends, I'm gonna be let me see if we got any more statements, any more comments. I'm gonna be calling it quits here in a few minutes. Going overboard just a little bit. Laura says, I'm gonna get another book. By the way, I just finished the new book. I want to let you guys know the final version. I believe it is the final version. Finally, it's taken me, I said 2 years. I think I lied. It's taken me over a year to get that book right to where I want it. And it's there. It's at Amazon. You can actually get the book through soldiersofselfmastery.com/book, or you can just go to soldiersofselfmastery.com. That helps support the mission. And if you support the mission, if you send a love gift of $25 or more, I'm going to send you a copy of that book, an autographed signed copy of that book. And I believe that could be a very, very great tool for you if you study it. If you study that book and you read it little by little, you digest it. I know it says 7 days or less you can crush a gambling habit. It is there set up for 7 days, but you gotta put it to work. You gotta make it happen for yourself. You have to make, it's like knowledge alone is not power. You need to apply that knowledge. Knowledge applied is power. That's what becomes power in your life when you apply these things. So it's very serious to quit gambling. And I'm telling you, my friends, think about how good it is. Think about how good it would be for you if you're still gambling. Think about how good it would be. Think about the opposite of gambling, the total opposite. Everything opposite of gambling. Think about it. How does that make you feel? What does that make you think about? The total opposite of gambling every day, every single day. No more betting on the dogs or on roosters. No more penny slots. No more playing the quarters. None of that. Imagine just living your life apart, totally apart from all this stuff. I'm telling you, it feels good. Anyways, I want to thank each and every one of you guys that have been here on this episode. We'll see about the following episode, Sunday Night Alive, Power Hour at 3 p.m. I'm supposed to be doing an interview, but apparently it's not happening. So, my friends, let me know. Let me know if you benefit from what I'm doing here on Sunday. Send me an email. Let me know, because again, it takes money to run this mission. It takes money to help people. It does. So I'm looking for support for this mission. And I want to keep it going. What's your motive, Santos? My motive is to help you on the other side get free. If you need to ask somebody about my services and what I've been able to do in helping other people, I can give you a referral or two, and you could talk to them and you could ask them, hey, does this guy really help you? Can this guy really help me with this issue? What has been your experience with Santos? I'd be more than willing to give you a live person to talk to, just so that you know that I'm not trying to bullshit anybody here online. Because there are a lot of people that bullshit people, and they're cons, and they're stealing money from people. And I don't want to ever be in that category. I want to truly help people, and I am. I know that I am, but I want to reach more people. So with that said, my friends, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here on this episode with me I'm calling this number 96, episode number 96 of Sunday Night Alive Power Hour. What was the title that we started out with? Is gambling worth your life? Not really. Not really. It's not really worth, right? The trade, gambling your life away. The trade, it's not really worth it. Jesse says, I hope I can figure out how to donate. All you have to do is just go to soldiersofselfmastery.com. We have a full processor, secured site. It'll take $2. It'll take $5. It'll take $500. And it'll all go towards the mission. So I want to thank you for that. Jim, thank you for being here, supporting me and supporting the mission. I hope that you're doing well with your business. I know it's a challenge, man, but we keep going forward, little by little. We keep going forward, right? We keep going forward, man. We keep on trucking, like my mom says. Nancy Bogart says he has given his whole self always. Thank you, Nancy, for sharing that. And I'm sure Nancy can vouch for that. I truly appreciate you, Nancy. Anyways, I appreciate Laura, Mark, Jim, David. Let me see. I didn't see, who didn't I see today? I didn't see Sean. I didn't see many. Jesse, David, Mahmoud, thank you for being here with us. And Nahil, special shout out to Nahil. Stay strong, my friends. Listen, I'm doing it every day. I'm free from gambling every single day. I don't gamble. I'm free. I'm glad. I've got other issues. I've got other problems that I'm dealing with, but I'm glad that it's not gambling. And I know that I can help you on the other side. So if you're benefiting, send me a message. Let me know. Support the mission. soldiersofselfmastery.com. Look at, I'll even post it on here. Let me see if I can do this. This will be a lot. Let me see. Can I do it? Of course I can. There we go. All right. Thank you, Mark. Hi, Pete. You have a question? We're getting ready to the end of this broadcast, but if you have a question, please post it. I'll do my best to give you a riddle. No, I won't give you a riddle. I'll give you the truth, man. Any questions before I end the broadcast? I see people are coming on. I may just stay on here a little bit longer. By the way, I'm having a great hair day. You can tell. If you're going to take a picture from this side. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Woo! It's growing, though. Okay. So... anybody have a question? You got a thought? You got an observation? Maybe you want to generate more income. How do you generate more income, Santos? That's a great question. Anybody want to know how to generate more income? Create your YouTube channel and ask for donations. No, I'm just joking. How do you generate more income? Jim Rohn, a good teacher friend of mine, said work on yourself more than you work on your job. I say work on yourself, but also work on your job, right? Analyze, learn, think. Listen, if you're still here and you're struggling with gambling, listen to what I'm sharing with you. If you use your mind, you can do things. your mind is a gift. It's been given to you by your creator, and it is a very phenomenal tool that you can use for yourself. You can think about things. You can take time to visualize when you're not working, right? If you're going, let me tell you something. If you're going to a casino, if you go to the casino and you spend hours in the casino, you've got too much time on your hands. Take some of that time and start using your mind to think about things, to visualize. You know, what would you like to see in your life? What would you like to think about those things? Well, Santos, I've tried thinking about those things once before. Well, why don't you try it 2 times or 3 times? Because once it may not work. Remember, the good life comes out of a good series. The good life will come out of a good series of good, constant, positive reminders. I'm going to say that again. The good life, your good life will come out of a good series of good, constant, positive reminders. And maybe you come here and you're hearing a lot of the same stuff that I share, right? Maybe you're hearing it a little differently. You need to hear it. I need to hear this. Because the more we hear it, the more we're prepared for the battle, the more we're prepared for the temptation, right? I mean, does it make sense to practice? If you want to be a basketball player, does it make sense to practice before you play the real game? Does it make sense if you want to be a YouTuber to practice making videos and messing up and saying the wrong things and even losing? There's times that I even lose my thought pattern because something distracts me and I lose my thought pattern. Maybe some of you guys know that. Maybe you don't. But that's not important. The important thing is that I'm here and I have a good motive and I want to help people. That's what's important, right? That you're here, I'm here, and I have a good motive and I want to help you on the other side. So Mark says, that's right. Can you tell more jokes? Okay. Can you put your book in Hobby Lobby? I can try, Jesse. I don't know. I can have my partner. He's the engineer. He can look into that for me. Hobby Lobby. Okay. Put that down. Pete says, betting in the casino will eventually wipe you out. When someone has a limited bankroll, will lose to a casino with unlimited bankroll. That's right. It's a bad investment when you gamble. It really is. And that's what people are doing. When people gamble, they're trading $20 for $50, right? Or they're trying, right? I would go in there with $500 and I would try to come out of there with $3,000. And sometimes I would go in there with $500 and end up depositing $3,000 into the slot machines. Very sad days, very sad times, very depressive when you come out of the casino. Whether you win or lose, it's a hook. It's gonna bring you right back. Well, if you keep losing, why would you go back to the casino? Because we're a glutton for punishment and we do it anyways because we think that we're gonna win. We deceive ourselves. Right? Amen. Amen, artistry. Welcome to episode number 96. I'm gone. We've been here for a while, and I see people I thought I was going to leave, but looks like I'm going to be here for a little bit longer. Let me see. Santos, keep it up. Your content is very helpful for me. Thank you I'm about to kiss the microphone. Thank you, Amen, artistry. I appreciate that. Mark says they even have cards that will take you to the casino. Let me share something with you that talking about a debit card, credit card. They have a card. It's called the Rev card. It's a new technology. I haven't seen the card, but a friend of mine who is an entrepreneur has access to this technology. And this is the stuff that's coming out. By the way, Nancy says, maybe you're the answer to your sad self, to our sad self. Cars that will take you to the casino to gamble your money. Oh, yeah, I'm sure that's coming. I usually do my thinking after a loss. Well, Jesse, I'm telling you, it'll make a big difference when you start really thinking before those losses. It'll keep you from those losses. Think about it. It's easy to do, man. You're daydreaming. You guys are daydreaming. You're thinking all the time. Get a hold of that. Start using it to your advantage. It's there. It's a tool. The more that you the more that you use it, the better that you become at it. Man, what was I going to say about the? I lost my train of thought there for a minute. I did. Well, anyways, maybe it wasn't meant. It was meant to stay. No, I'll just leave it at that. See, I told you guys I lose track, man. I'm all over the place. Thank you for all your help, everyone. Give a thumbs up. It will help Santo and cost you nothing. Thanks, Pete. Yeah. So, Jesse, stop and think before you go. I recommend when I was 15, lost 75 on the game. I was mad. That's what happens, man. We end up trading our life away for the gambling. Oh, we're talking about visualizing, that the gift of visualizing that you have. It's a very, very powerful tool that you have. And it's amazing what you can do, how you can use your mind. And after a while, it just gets easier. I'm telling you, man, I sometimes I feel like when I say this, it might be a little torturous to somebody, that it feels great to be free from gambling, because there was a time in my life where, I mean, it was bad, man. It was depressing. It was sad. It was just, I didn't want to live, man. I really didn't want to live anymore. Honestly, I just didn't want to live, but I didn't want to kill myself either. I thought about it, but I didn't want to live because I didn't know how I was going to get myself out. I never really thought that I could ever get myself out of gambling. That thought, I never could really get that thought in my head until I started learning that you can use your mind, you can use your speech, you can use picture words on yourself, and you can use affirmations, and you can use the mirror. You can get in front. When I started doing all of these things, then I began to shift my mind. And I did it, man. And the more I did it, it's just, I got hungrier and I kept doing it. And I figured, it felt like I was just stocking my closet, like preparing for a storm. You know how you stock your closet, you put water in there, you put canned goods and whatever else that you need, maybe batteries, you stock your closet. And that's what I felt like I was doing. I was stocking my closet in front of my mirror, doing my self-talk and all these affirmations and doing a lot of writing. And then when the temptation came, it wasn't as difficult because I was prepared for it. Does that make sense? All right, my friends. What was I? Anyways, all right. We've got a few people that are coming back. Thank you, Nancy. Nancy Bogart. That's a unique name, by the way. Nancy Bogart. Okay, Mark, let me see. Jesse says, it's a rush and then you want more and more until you have no more. Yeah, that's true. Gambling can be fun the first time that you're there, right? You remember the first time that you ever went into a casino? I remember the first time. Well, actually, I don't remember the first time, but I remember that it was probably pretty fun because I might have won. I don't think I lost. Typically, people win on their first times in the casino. And I thought, man, I made all this money and I only had, so much money to spend. So, this could be a regular little part-time job for me. I can just come up here with $100 and walk out with $400. Well, now, you know what? When I think about it, whenever you win money in the casino, you're winning it at the luxury of an old lady losing there in the corner someplace on a slot machine. Some old lady just lost her money and you're walking out of there with a check. You didn't walk out of there with the casino's money. You walked out of there with that lady that lost her money, or that guy that now is getting into a very horrible argument in his car with his girlfriend or wife because he blew all of his money in the casino. And guess what? You just walked out of there with a little bit of bundle in your pocket. Come on, Santos. I mean, you're hurting me with that kind of language. Well, it's the truth, man. We need to think about these things. If we think about these things, we'll think differently. It's usually a spare moment getaway, but budget my money to maybe I can profit. Yep, it's a gamble. It is a what is it? It's not like trading stocks or anything like that, but it is a gamble. It's a bad investment, is what it is. It's literally a bad investment. Gambling is literally a bad investment because it's going to get you one way or another. It's going to get you. Yes, it is. And we know people right now that are doing some very, very strange things, hurting people, lying, cheating, stealing, conniving. I know a few people right now, a few people that are doing that, and I've never talked to these. And well, I've talked to maybe a couple of these individuals. I know a few of them. One of them I don't know. Don't know real personally, but I know that this individual is doing some real prison stuff, and this person's headed to prison. That's the bottom line. They're going to be headed to prison, and it's going to be the end of. I'm sure they'll gamble in prison because they do find ways to gamble, even if it's just fake dice. Where there's money and there's dice, there's people, they'll find ways to gamble. Yep, unless you say no more. All right, my friends, looks like we're coming to the close here. Pete, thank you for joining us. And Nancy joined us. I think she joined us a little bit late. Another joke. What else? What other joke can I say? Well, I don't have any jokes. The jokes on the casino. No, I don't. No more jokes. Hey, John, welcome to the episode number 96. I must be well, we'll stay here for a little bit longer. Let me see if John has. You got a question, John? We're kind of winding down. If you have a question, you got an observation that you want to make, something before I end this episode number 96. Hello, everyone, John says. That's a good question. We're going to talk about that, Jim. Oh, I see Church Song there. Please. 3 p.m.